Hello and welcome to your news and features electronic magazine that centers on the different facets of motoring. Now on its 34th year, this is Motoring Today. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for.
On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the controversial move to reduce physical distancing in public transportation. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on the proper way of crossing the street between parked vehicles. This week's Payong Super shall be about the illegal practice of most PUV drivers of overloading passengers. The public service segment centers on the reaction to RFID stickers and compatibility with certain vehicles. Showcase this week shall have the MPV from Mitsubishi, the Xpander Cross.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are in this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Live extra
with the new Mitsubishi Xpander Cross.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. The rise in road incidents, including motorists hitting concrete barriers on EDSA, prompted a call to action from authorities.
MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia says the cases of vehicular accidents in the metropolis, particularly concrete barrier-related accidents on EDSA, are alarming. During an interagency meeting of representatives from the MMDA, PNP Highway Patrol Group, DOTR, LTO, and the LTFRB have agreed to strengthen the enforcement of traffic rules and regulations. It was noted that from January to August, at least 31,811 accidents have been reported, with 136 fatalities, 6,614 non-fatal injuries, and with 25,061 incidents incurring damage to property. The meeting apparently agreed that there was a need for collaborative efforts on how to discipline erring motorists and drivers. Around 618 accidents were recorded happening on EDSA, with 509 resulting in damage to property. This number includes the 105 incidents involving concrete barriers. Among specific actions agreed to be taken to prevent more road accidents in the metropolis include the following: to intensify anti-drunk driving and anti-distracted driving operations in Metro Manila, to suspend, revoke, cancel the driver's license of drivers with multiple traffic violations in accordance with the law, to file cases against violators of RA 10913 or Anti-Distracted Driving Act, to impose stiffer penalties to drivers involved in accidents with damage to government properties, or at least filing of charges, to set up strategic checkpoints during curfew hours, to conduct random breath analyzer tests on drivers.
The return to normalcy will see the return of perennial problems affecting motoring and motorists in the country. Traffic and transport authorities are right to stay ahead of the problems before they begin to fester. Tollway operators are embracing the DOTR's mandate for cashless payments at all expressways.
The Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation, or MPTC, has assured the DOTR that all its tollways will be shifted to cashless transactions before the November 2 deadline. During a media briefing on its Road to RFID 100% campaign, the MPTC said 75% of lanes at toll gates of its expressways are now enabled for the use of RFID, or Radio Frequency Identification System, of paying toll. The MPTC operates the NLEX and the Subic-Clark-Tarlac Expressway, or SCTEX, as well as the Cavitex and the Cavite-Laguna Expressway, or CALAX. It said that the Philippine Arena Toll Plaza, Lawang Baton northbound entry, and expansion lanes in Balintawak and Bukawi toll plazas in NLEX have been converted into exclusive RFID lanes. CALAX also opened 100% RFID interchanges in Laguna Boulevard and Laguna Technopark in Binyan City, Laguna. It added, to make cashless payments more accessible to motorists, the MPTC said it lowered the initial load cost of the RFID stickers from 500 to 200 pesos. It has also made the Stick It Yourself RFID stickers available on such online order and delivery services as Shopee. It added that the battery-powered EC Trip tags are now being phased out. It assured that all remaining account balances on the EC Trip will be added to the new RFID system. The RFID stickers can also be installed at toll gates of MPTC expressways.
Tollway operators have long been encouraging motorists to transition to automated prepaid systems of paying toll for convenience. The COVID-19 pandemic has added safety against contagion as another reason for cashless transactions at toll gates. Remember the trains ordered from Dalian which had some issues that needed to be resolved before they could be put into use? Well, apparently, these issues have been resolved and 3 are now in service.
The MRT-3 is back in operation, using 19 train sets. 3 of these train sets are from the CCRC Dalian Co. The Dalian train sets had to undergo intensive tests before they could be commissioned for use at the MRT. They also had to pass an independent technical evaluation conducted by a third-party consultant, TÜV Rheinland of Germany. The DOTR, headed by Secretary Arthur Tugade, undertook to have Dalian refit the trains for MRT-3 operations without additional costs to the government. The addition of the 3 Dalian train sets to the 16 operational CKD trains allowed the MRT-3 to reduce waiting time for trains at stations and increase the train capacity. According to MRT-3 Director of Operations Michael Kapati, MRT-3 passengers deserve to experience better service. Already, The elevators and escalators at all MRT3 stations are now back in service after extensive repair and rehabilitation. Rail replacement work continues at pace, with nearly 90% of the work already completed as of September 2020.
A well-managed MRT3 should be one of the pillars of an efficient and safe mass transport system in Metro Manila. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. It came as a surprise to many. The IATF approving a proposal to reduce the recommended physical distancing in mass transport vehicles. But it shouldn't be a surprise that the recommendation came from economists in the government. Is this needed? Is it worth raising the risk of COVID-19 virus transmission? Motoring Forum will discuss the answers to these questions.
From day one of the community quarantine, people have been told that the best way to avoid infection and to stop the spread of COVID-19 is to wash hands thoroughly, to stay home, and when going out for essential needs, to wear a mask or face covering, and to always maintain at least a meter distance from others. Over the weeks and months of transitioning from various levels of community quarantine restrictions to another, it became apparent that reopening the economy was just as important as containing the spread of the virus. As businesses and trades were allowed to reopen, it became apparent too that the transport needs of returning workers must be met. Transport modes, buses, trains, shuttles, taxis, modern PUVs, traditional jeepneys, TNVS units, even tricycles were phased in but still under physical distancing protocols, meaning at least a meter distance between passengers on the commute. But it became apparent that there is a need to increase the capacity of mass transportation modes to safely meet demand. The Economic Development Cluster, or EDC, came up with the idea that less could lead to more. Less distance between passengers, more capacity. Among members of the EDC are representatives from the National Economic Development Authority and the Department of Trade and Industry. The DOTR, headed by Secretary Arthur Tugate, supported the EDC proposal, saying that there is a need to safely optimize the carrying capacity of all public transport modes for land, sea, and air in areas under general community quarantine. The Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF-EID, approved the EDC DOTR proposal, which called for reducing the mandatory distance between passengers on public utility vehicles from 1 meter to 0.75 meters, beginning on September 14, then further reducing that to 0.5 meters on September 28, and to 0.3 meters on October 12.
Inirekomenda ng EDC sa IATF na payagan ang pagbabawas ng physical distancing sa pagitan ng mga pasahero sa 0.5 meters. Siyempre, kasama na dito yung mga ibang minimum health standards na in place na tulad ng mandatory use of face mask, face shield, hand washing, disinfecting, and health screening. Dahil sa positibong endorsement ng EDC, pati na rin ang suporte nila Sec. Mon Lopez ng DTI, Sec. Carl Chua ng DBM, Sec. Ronnie Bautista ng DSWD, at pati na rin po ang ating Chief Implementer na si Secretary Charlie Galvez, National Task Force. Ang IATF po ay pumayag na nabawasan ang physical distance sa pagitan ng mga pasahero to 0.5 meters. Ito po ay nakapakaloob sa IATF Resolution number 69. Bagamat pinayagan na po ng IATF nabawasan ang physical distance between passengers to 0.5 meters, minabuti pa rin po ni Secretary Tugade na ipa-implement ito sa isang prudent at gradual na pamamaraan.
During a press briefing announcing the reduction of physical distancing in public transport, the DOTR trotted out estimates of how this increased passenger capacity in trains. The announcement of this initiative for optimizing the capacity of public transport was met with questions. Is this safe? Have health authorities been consulted? The DOTR maintains health authorities have been consulted. With regard to trains, the DOTR said it surveyed rail services in other countries also struggling with COVID-19 and learned that the Philippines is one of the few countries mandating social or physical distancing on trains and stations.
Ilan po dun sa mga natignan po natin na kasamahan po nating rail operators sa mundo ay nakikita niyo po sa screen. Isa po dun sa mga nakita natin sa current po na estado ng COVID-19 ay tayo na lang po yung natitira na nag-enforce po nitong 1 meter na social distancing, especially po sa loob ng mga tren. Sa labas po ng tren sa mga stasyon, we still observe po. Ang nakita natin ay nag-observe pa po ng social distancing. Pero pagdating po sa loob, base po sa ating pag-aaral ay tayo na lang po ang natitira na nag-enforce po nito. Sabi nga po ng UIC or ng International Union of Railways, and this is a direct quote po, using other prevention measures in combination with social distancing, such as wearing a mask, will modify the threshold of social distancing and thus enable to increase the occupancy rate of the trains.
But right after the first phase of the reduction was implemented, Department of Interior and Local Government Secretary Eduardo Año claimed health authorities weren't consulted and that the IATF didn't approve the initiative. Año also warned this could lead to a return to ECQ. At the same time, Department of Health Secretary Francisco Duque III claimed that he wasn't at the meeting that supposedly approved the phased physical distancing reduction in public transport. Duque also cited a study of the Health Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19 that indicated a decrease in physical distancing could increase the country's COVID-19 death rate. However, a GMA network report showed a copy of minutes of an IATF showing the EDC proposal seconded and approved. And finally, depending on who media talked to, it was either the reduction would be continued or it was being reconsidered. Meanwhile, commuters are advised to continue to strictly observe the mandate to wear masks and face shields and to avoid talking or answering phones while on public transport.
Government must balance the need to open up the economy against the need to protect communities, workers heading back to work, medical and other frontliners against the contagion. It's a delicate balance and there's no escaping the consequences of a mistake one way or the other. That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Mitsubishi Strada Athlete. Unleash the athlete.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
You're back with us here on Motoring Today. In line with our lifelong commitment to promote road safety, here is this week's road safety tip in cooperation with Toyota Motor Philippines.
If you're going to cross a street between parked vehicles, it's always better and safer kung titingin ka muna sa kaliwa at kanan bago tuluyang tumawid. Minsan ay nakaharang sa paningin ang mga nakapara at maaari kang masagasaan ng paparating na sasakyan kung basta-basta ka lang tatawid. Always ensure your safety first before taking any action while on the road.
Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. From Mitsubishi Motors Philippines, here is Spying Chuper this week.
Payong Chuper lang, kaibigan. Ako si Jeffrey, isang kapwa nyo Chuper. Huwag mong hayaang may sumabit sa likuran ng iyong jeep.
Delikado ang may sabit sa jeep. Maaring pagmulan ito ng aksidente at may masaktan o masawi. Kapag puno na sa loob at may gusto pang humabol, agad na pagbawalan upang disgrasya ay maiwasan.
Tandaan, kaligtasan bago ang anupaman. Ito po si Jeffrey Hamot, Payong Chuper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo Chuper.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
The Mitsubishi Mirage.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the local auto industry.
The Toyota Hilux already claims the title best-selling pickup in the Philippines. So naming its latest iteration, the Conquest, could hardly be called presumptuous. After all, it already has conquered a good 30% of the mid-size pickup segment. Still, the question remains, can the Conquest retain its hold on the pickup segment and conquer more pickup buyers? Toyota Motor Philippine President Atsuhiro Okamoto certainly is confident, saying this 2020, the new Toyota Hilux and Toyota Hilux Conquest arrive with an impressive new look that is more rugged and exciting than ever. The new Hilux is designed to meet the tough demands of Filipino drivers and the country's varying roads. I am confident that the Hilux would once again prove why it is the Philippines' pickup of choice. Tough on every road, every inch a Hilux. The Hilux Conquest is offered in both 4x4 and 4x2 variants. The 4x4 powered by a 2.8-liter 1GD FTV 201 horsepower turbo diesel engine and made it to either a manual or diesel transmission. The 4x2 is powered by a 2.4-liter 2GD FTV 148 horsepower turbo diesel engine, also with either manual or automatic transmission. The Conquest contains much of the accoutrements now expected in top-of-line vehicles, as well as a practical and sporty pickup paraphernalia, smart entry and push-start system, power adjust with auto-fold side mirrors, speed-sensing door locks, 4.2-inch TFT multi-information display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, cruise control, bi-beam LED headlamps, and LED rear combination lamps with line guide, sports bar with LED lamps, over fender garnish, and Conquest decals on both sides of the cargo bed, tailgate assist, and bed liner. Aside from Conquest, G and E variants, Toyota continues to offer the Hilux J in 4x4 and 4x2, cab and chassis, and the FX. Toyota also introduces the Hilux Cargo, a rear seatless, windowless, and more affordable variant powered by the same 2GD engine. With all these Hilux variants for all budgets, needs, and wants, Toyota believes it will continue to be the best seller in the segment. Is the Outlander PHEV, Mitsubishi's popular plug-in hybrid SUV, just an aspirational vehicle in the lineup of Mitsubishi Motors Philippines Corporation? Something to attract prospective car buyers to the showroom, where they can then find more affordable and suitable vehicles for their needs? Or is its local introduction part of an initiative to promote the use of electrified vehicles by showing its broader benefits? Maybe its first delivery may provide an indication to Mitsubishi's plans. MMPC first Outlander PHEV customer is the Manila branch of Mitsubishi Corporation, or MC. The Outlander PHEV was received by local MC branch General Manager Keiichi Matsunaga. MC, a global enterprise that develops and operates business with offices and subsidiaries in 90 countries and regions worldwide, has a 20% shareholding in Mitsubishi Motors Corporation of Japan. With the initial transaction of Outlander PHEV to Mitsubishi Corporation, MMPC is excited to jumpstart a collaboration between the two companies that is geared to promote environment-friendly and self-sustaining technology, said Mutsuhiro Oshikiri, MMPC President and CEO. As announced in January, we plan to integrate vehicle-to-home showcase facilities to some of our pilot dealers. We hope that in the future, we can also collaborate with MC to accelerate introduction of renewable and self-sustaining power supply system to MMPC, Oshikiri said. Vehicle-to-home is power supply system which allows EV, PHEV batteries to restore and supply electricity generated from renewable energy sources to the home. Kia Philippines is offering generous discounts to those willing to wait for the arrival of the Stonic, a stylish subcombat crossover it plans to bring in later this year. Competitive pricing with discounts is just one of 6 reasons Kia cites for people to wait for the Stonic, which will arrive in 3 variants. The 735,000 Stonic 1.4 LX manual transmission, the 835,000 peso 1.4 LX automatic, and the 925,000 peso 1.4 EX automatic. Kia says those who reserve a Stonic on or before October 15 get a 60,000 peso discount for the 1.4 LX manual transmission and 50,000 for the 1.4 LX automatic and the 1.4 EX automatic. The other reasons include the Stonic design that has won awards and citations from international design groups, including IF Design and the Red Dot Design Awards. The Stonic is said to be built to be enjoyed, coming as it does with an entertainment package with an 8-inch touchscreen unit compatible to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Safety features are also Stonic attractions, featuring, among others, reverse parking sensors, hill start assist, and electronic stability control. It also comes with an efficient powertrain, a 1.4-liter, 4-cylinder gasoline engine with dual continuous variable valve timing and paired to either a 5-speed manual transmission or a 6-speed automatic transmission. Kia also touts the 5-year or 160,000-kilometer warranty, as well as 24/7 roadside assistance free for 5 years. Mazda Philippines is now offering a 5-year free periodic maintenance program for all Mazda vehicles sold from April 2020 onwards. The 5-year program will cover all expenses for the periodic maintenance of Mazda vehicles covered by the new program at either 6 months or 10,000 kilometer intervals for up to 5 years or 100,000 kilometers. The free service plan will follow the comprehensive maintenance and parts replacements scheduled recommended by Mazda Japan. Mazda says close to 27,000 Mazda owners enjoy the savings, peace of mind, and financial security from the 3-year free service plan, which it first introduced in 2013.
Motoring Today now brings you our Car of the Week on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. The Mitsubishi Expander got a good reception when it was first introduced to the Philippine market in 2018. A bestseller in the small MPV segment with a little more than 13,000 units sold. Mitsubishi sold more of the 7-seater MPV in 2019, reaching the 19,000 mark. The COVID-19 pandemic may have scuppered hopes of selling even more Expanders in 2020, even with the addition of the Expander Cross, an MPV in a crossover or SUV, guys.
Mitsubishi Motors Philippines has launched the Expander Cross as the top variant of its best-selling small MPV. It arrived with cladding kit, redesigned grille and bumpers, and a lifted suspension that made it longer, taller, and wider than its siblings at 4,500 millimeters long, 1,800 millimeters wide, and 1,750 millimeters tall, with a 2,775 millimeter long wheelbase. The redesigned grille and bumper, black fender arches, and side body moldings, side and tailgate garnishes, as well as the now segment-leading 225mm ground clearance lift the Expander in look and stance from MPV to crossover and SUV territory. The Expander Cross exterior also features LED headlamps, rear LED combination headlamps, new roof rails, and shark fin antenna. It also comes with new 17-inch two-tone alloy wheel design wrapped by 205 by 55 R17 tires. The Expander Cross shares the same 4A91 1.5-liter inline-4 DOHC 16-valve engine with MIVEC as the Expander GLS, GLX Plus, and GLX. The engine generates 104 PS at 6,000 revolutions per minute and 141 Newton meters of torque at 4,000 RPM and drives the front wheels. The Expander Cross shares the same interior length and width, 2,840 millimeters by 1,411 millimeters, that Mitsubishi touts for its best-selling MPV, which allows for a roomy cabin for 7 passengers. Second and third row seats fold flat to provide flexibility for hauling passengers and cargo. The new dual-tone leather upholstery and trim lend a touch of class to the Expander cabin. Practical and functional features include a multitude of storage spaces for all knickknacks of family life and the gear and gadgets of sporty and connected individuals. Power outlets accessible in all 3 rows. A keyless operation system for entry and engine start. The 3-spoke steering wheel clad in leather with stitching that tilts and telescopes, and dotted with buttons and controls for audio, cruise control, etc. The dash is ergonomic and elegant with bright touches of tech, including the white-lit, high-contrast instrument cluster. Then there's the 2DIN multimedia system with a 7-inch touchscreen with radio tuner, MP3 player, USB, auxiliary input, Bluetooth with mirror link feature for Android OS with amber color display and 6 speakers. In raising the Expander Cross's ground clearance, Mitsubishi tuned the suspension system that features front McPherson struts with coil springs and stabilizer, and torsion beam in the rear to allow for comfortable and stable ride on rough roads without sacrificing the kind of ride and handling that's appreciated by owners of earlier Expander variants. Many owners enjoy driving the Expander for the high seating position, complementing the wide windshield providing good visibility, as well as being one of the quietest cabins in the segment. Expander Cross drivers also benefit from the driver assist technologies, such as active stability control, traction control, hill start assist, as well as the anti-lock brake system with electronic brake force distribution. Stopping power comes from a system using 15-inch ventilated discs in front and 9-inch leading and trailing drums with a 10-inch master vacuum brake booster. The Expander Cross comes with all safety features standard in all variants, including SRS airbags for driver and front seat passenger, 3-point ELR seatbelts for 7, with the driver and front seat passenger benefiting from pre-tensioners, and child seat ISOFIX, and tether anchors. Finally, the Expander comes in special colors, sunrise orange and quartz white pearl.
The Expander Cross has further blurred the lines between and among MPVs, SUVs, and crossovers. And it may be a good thing for automakers, or not, as they now have to be more creative and thinking out of the box to come up with vehicles that would cater to the many while satisfying the needs of the few. But it would be great for buyers who would now have a broader range of options. That's our featured vehicle on this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
Mitsubishi Strada Athlete. Unleash the athlete.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
We now have our segment that dwells on the wide array of motoring problems, not only in the metro, but all over the country as well. This is where we present problems referred to us or we ourselves see and hope to fully find solutions for. Here's our public service segment brought to you by Honda Cars Philippines.
In order to help stop the spread of COVID-19 in expressways, the Department of Transportation has released a department order mandating the shift to electronic toll collection. However, there are some motor vehicle owners who are worrying about this cashless and contactless transaction. According to a motorist who lives in Pampanga, he went to 2 different EasyTrip RFID installing stations in the north to secure his own even prior to the November 2 deadline. But he was rejected as, according to the installing personnel, the RFID sticker will not be readable on either his car's windshield or headlight. We then asked the Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation, or MPTC, regarding this problem during a recent virtual press conference that they organized. Mr. Bobby Boncha, President and General Manager of MPT South Corporation and MPTC's RFID 100 Task Force Head, answered our query.
Dun sa mga vehicles na nagkakaroon ng issue like heavy yung tint, may mga configuration yung headlamp that's making it difficult for readability. Si EasyTrip is now finalizing yung another option of using a license plate RFID. As I've mentioned earlier in the briefing, we've identified already the license plate RFID for distribution or for installation on our public utility vehicles, no, yung mga jeepneys, targeting the jeepneys. And then there is another type, a metal license RFID that can be an alternative. I think on the onset, it will not be free compared to the stickers that we're distributing now, no? But it should address some of the issues of certain vehicle types that's making it difficult for the conventional sticker to be read by our system.
In a follow-up question asked by our good friend and colleague Fort Manahan, Mr. Boncha further expounded how the license plate and metal license RFIDs will work.
Hindi siya yung sticker type. This is dalawang klase yan, ang aluminum type and metal type. The way it's working now is, imagine yung license plate nyo sa harapan, dun ikakabit yung plate na yon. We are targeting to start distributing that for public utility vehicles by hopefully within September, but no later than the beginning of October. For public utility jeepneys, no, to start. For the metal plates, as an option for our Class 1 private vehicles, it will not be distributed for free and it has certain costs attached to it since it's not your typical RFID sticker. It's really a metal plate that you will install dun sa license plate natin, ano. So meron siyang cost, and then we're just finalizing with EasyTrip yung marketing and selling details so that it will also be made available by October.
As mentioned, MPTC will be distributing license plate RFIDs to public utility jeepneys for free. Costs, however, of the metal plate RFIDs for Class 1 vehicles are still to be discussed.
And that's our public service segment from Honda Cars Philippines. And should you yourself encounter motoring problems that need immediate attention, please feel free to contact us. See the details being flashed on your screen. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, please don't forget to check us out on our social media accounts.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 34th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. Stay healthy and be vigilant at all times. On behalf of Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Happy
Happy
motoring!
motoring.